Is there a divide within Tripura BJP over possible chief ministerial phase for 2023? News report says Manik Saha has confirmed to being projected as chief minister candidate. BJP denies, says party does not name chief minister ahead of polls. Artist village chief kidnapped in Manipur's Churachandpur by unknown insurgent group. Rupees 2 crore ransom demanded for release of duo. Row over BJP protest insulting Tripura Motha chief and royal scion Pradyot Debarma. Sharp reactions pour in. Pradyot calls for peace. Day of intense drama. 2 rounds of grilling of Rahul Gandhi by Enforcement Directorate in National Herald case. Congress rallies around Raga, launches Satyagraha with protests across cities. Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma slams Rahul Gandhi over Congress's protest over ED summon, says Congress trying to intimidate Enforcement Directorate. Are commuters at risk due to deterioration in condition of crucial bridge along National Highway to Shillong? Meghalaya government to review condition of Umiam Dam Bridge. Very warm welcome to all our viewers. You're watching Newsnight. I am Ronak, and we start the bulletin with the big story from Tripura. Well, is there a divide within the Tripura BJP over the possible chief ministerial phase for the 2023 assembly elections? Are party leaders' internal differences showing up again as the crucial state assembly polls gradually approach? Well, a report in news agency ANI has triggered fresh speculations. The report quoted Manik Saha as confirming that he will be the BJP's chief ministerial face for the 2023 assembly elections. So this is a big statement, viewers, considering the fact that the BJP as a party usually does not announce the names of the chief minister's name ahead of the polls. Manik Saha took charge as of the chief minister's post last month following a surprise move by the BJP High Command, which replaced Biplab Kumar Deb. Now, what does the BJP has to say about it? Well, speaking exclusively to Northeast Live, party spokesperson Nabendu Bhattacharjee said that the BJP does not project any chief minister phase. The chief ministerial phase is decided by the leadership only after the polls, Bhattacharjee added. Listen in.
Is Manik Saha the next phase?
नहीं, इसे फेस बोल के हम लोग कुछ नहीं करते हैं. वो इलेक्शन लड़ रहे हैं, अभी वो मुख्यमंत्री बने हैं तो बाय इलेक्शन में वो लड़ रहे हैं. अगले 9 महीने के बाद फिर से इलेक्शन होगा, तब का तब देखा जाएगा.
अभी कोई पार्टी की तरफ
नहीं, पार्टी की तरफ से पार्टी उस तरह से सिद्धांत नहीं लेते, कहीं भी उस तरह से फेस क्रिएट नहीं करते हम लोग. लोग बोल देते हैं, लोगों को लगता है इस तरह से चलता है, लेकिन पार्टी की तरफ से ये अनाउंसमेंट कभी नहीं होता. ना, इसे क्लेम कहीं उन्होंने किया नहीं के, लेकिन ये लोगों को लगता है. लोगों को जो लगता है वही मतलब लगता है कि, लेकिन सारे देश में कहीं भी इस तरह से प्रोजेक्शन नहीं होता. हमारे पार्टी में जो कुछ भी होता है वो निर्वाचित जो विधायक दल है वो तो करते ही हैं, साथ ही में हमारे जो सीनियर लीडर्स हैं वो मिल बैठ के ये सिद्धांत लेते हैं कौन चीफ मिनिस्टर बनेगा, कौन विधानसभा में हम नेतृत्व करेंगे, ये सब वही स्थिर करते हैं. ये सिर्फ हमारे राज्य में ही नहीं, सारे राज्यों में, सारे देश में ऐसा ही होता है.
Well, Nabendu Bhattacharjee's remark may have laid to rest these speculations for now, but has raised questions as to whether the BJP continues to face a leadership tussle ahead of the all-crucial assembly elections. All right, staying with Tripura now, a video of BJP supporters burning an effigy of Tripura Motha chairman and royal scion Pradyot Debarma has gone viral on social media, drawing sharp reactions. That's right, viewers. As per inputs, the demonstration was held to protest the alleged attack on tribal supporters of the BJP by Tripura Motha workers. And what has drawn focus to the demonstration is the fact that this is the first of its kind protest of this nature against Pradyot Burma, who is not only the Tipra Motha chairman, but also the royal scion or a Maharaja, as people call him. As such, the protest is drawing condemnation, with even the Tipra Motha's rival parties such as the Congress and the CPIM also condemning it. Meanwhile, Tipra Motha chairman Pradyot Burma has urged his supporters to maintain peace and calm at any cost, while adding that there is a bigger conspiracy at place. In a statement put up on social media, Pradyot Burma said, and I quote, "I am aware of the cowardly act of a few who have burnt my effigies, and I appeal to all Tiprasas and the members of Tipra Motha and every supporter as well as well-wisher to maintain peace and restraint. This is a conspiracy of a few divisive elements to provoke us to become them. But we must remember that our cause and our unity is bigger than me and any attack on me or my family. I sincerely appeal to each one of you to maintain peace and not react to such provocations by the divisive elements." Unquote. And meanwhile, as per sources, Tripura Chief Minister Manik Saha called Debarma to express his regret over the incident and said that such acts will not be tolerated. Meanwhile, Tripura Pradesh Congress Chief Birajit Sinha lashed out at the BJP over the incident, stating that the party has now taken things to a new low in Tripura.
ये बहुत खराबी कल्चर है बीजेपी ने त्रिपुरा में आमदनी किया है, ये हम लोग उसको टॉलरेट नहीं कर सकूंगा। ये प्रद्युत किशोर ये माथा का चेयरमैन है एक रीजनल पार्टी का, वो त्रिपुरा का भी रॉयल फैमिली का ये है, मेंबर है, राजा है। उनका तस्वीर उसको पुतला को ऐसे व्यवहार करना, लाठी मारना पूरा वायरल हो गया। रेस्पेक्टेबल आदमी है, वो समाज के लिए काम कर रहे हैं, मेनली ट्राइबल के लिए बहुत काम कर रहे हैं, नॉन ट्राइबल लिए काम करता है। ये तो ठीक नहीं, बहुत खराब हो गया है, ये बहुत खराबी।
All right, on to the big story from Meghalaya now. Is the critical Umiam Dam Bridge, which is taken by hundreds of vehicles traveling to and fro to Shillong every day, at risk? Is the bridge past its lifespan? Well, Meghalaya Disaster Management Minister Kirman Shila today said that the government will seek reports from the concerned departments on the condition of the bridge. Kirman Shila also allayed fears that the bridge may not be suitable for commuting for long. It may be mentioned that the opposition has been time and again raising concerns on the condition of the bridge, stating that a hairline crack on the bridge will spell a disaster. The bridge is still being used regularly, although no one is allowed to stop in between while crossing it. Cracks had surfaced earlier on also, and concerns were raised about the settlement down below if a disaster struck and the water of the dam gushed downstream. Yes, viewers, indeed, another big story coming in from Meghalaya is the critical Umiam Dam Bridge, which is taken by hundreds of vehicles traveling to and fro from Shillong every day, at risk. And is the bridge past its lifespan? Well, Meghalaya Disaster Management Minister Kirman Shila today said that the government will seek reports from the concerned departments on the condition of the bridge. Kirman Shila also allayed fears that the bridge may not be suitable for commuting for long. And it may be mentioned here, viewers, that the opposition has been time and again raising concerns on the condition of the bridge, stating that a hairline crack on the bridge will spell disaster. The bridge is still being used regularly, although no one is allowed to stop in between while crossing it. And cracks had surfaced earlier on as well, and concerns were raised about the settlement down below if a disaster struck and the water of the dam gushed downstream.
For this, I believe that especially the department who are looking for that bridge, they do have this testing, and maybe hopefully they have reports and so for that. Otherwise, it should not be so careless that without testing the the lifespan of that bridge. Otherwise, if has been mentioned by you that the lifespan of that bridge is over now, so that means it's not feasible for any vehicle to travel. So since we have witnessed that vehicle is still traveling, that means there's some kind of report has been conducting that which shows that crossing over the bridge is still applicable. So I believe that is. First, we have to ask what step has been taken as of now from different, concerned department who are looking after the bridge. If we feel that what is the report conducting this and that is very much alert, so I think we need to have that.
And staying with Meghalaya now, viewers, the Coordination Committee of Registered MEECL Employees Association and Unions today called on State Power Minister Preston Tinsong to demand terminal benefits of the employees amounting to rupees 840 crore, pending with the government since 2010, and the revocation of the order which bans recruitment in the MEECL. This was informed by President of the Coordination Committee of Registered MEECL Employees Associations and Unions, P.K. Shulet. Listen in.
We have deliberated at large on various issues like terminal benefits that you are aware of. About 840 crores spending with the government that it is supposed to give to MEECL. And it has been pending since 2010, since the time when MECL has been corporatized. We have discussed on this matter. We have also discussed on other issues like revocation of the order on the recruitment, which bans the recruitment in MECL. As you are aware that till that order had come before, MECL had the autonomy to recreate its own. We are very happy to say that, in fact, the minister has already have taken steps in this direction, and he has initiated some steps, which is welcome. We welcome the step that he has initiated for revocation of this order.
And Shulet also informed that the issue of regularization of contractual employees of the MEECL has been highlighted during the meet, stating that the government is working in tandem towards that end.
Further, we have also discussed on the regularization of the contractual employees. As you are aware, more than 30%, maybe 40% of the employees today in MECL are contractual. And we must say that we must accept the fact that without these contractual employees, perhaps it will not be possible to run the organization as it is, being a purely technical organization again. These contractual people who have already been serving, some of them are serving for more than 20 years, still living on meager amount of 10 to 15,000.
And furthermore, Shulet apprised the Minister of the State's potential to produce more capacity of power and requested that the state government consider giving more projects to the MEECL.
Most importantly, we have also discussed about the potential of our state with regards to power sector. We have put forth our request for the government to consider giving more projects to MECL, because as we know, the potential of the state is about more than 3,000 megawatts, but hardly about 10 to 15% of that has been harnessed today. And when we have the potential to generate that much of power, we are still languishing today, even after so many years. We want to see back the stories of the good old days when in the SYL MESCB, we used to have surplus of power when we used to export power to states like Assam. We want to see those days again. And he's very much in sync with this. And in fact, we were surprised to know that he already has in his mind about giving projects to MECL.
And on to another big story now. Security forces have intensified their search and rescue operations in Manipur's Churachandpur district following the abduction of a village chief and another individual suspected rebels. As per latest inputs coming in, the vehicle in which both the individuals were abducted has been found abandoned at a forest near Kolhen village under Henglep subdivision. Well, it may be mentioned here that the vehicle belongs to Kamwan Pao, who has also been abducted. Yes, viewers, a big update coming in at this point in time. Security forces have intensified their search and rescue operations in Manipur's Churachandpur district following the abduction of a village chief and another individual by suspected rebels. As per latest inputs coming in, viewers, the vehicle in which both the individuals were abducted has been found abandoned at a forest near Kolhen village under Henglep subdivision. It may also be mentioned here that the vehicle belongs to one Kamwan Pao, who has also been abducted. And meanwhile, we have reactions coming in from the Zomi Chiefs Association on the kidnapping incident. Speaking exclusively to our Churachandpur correspondent M.K. Henry, ZCA President T. Pumzado appealed to the abductors to safely release both the victims on humanitarian grounds.
Yeah, I like to appeal the responsible person to kindly release Kamon Pao and Gohantang on humanitarian ground. In the name of the Michi Association, I request you, please kindly do and kindly release. That's my request.
And it may be mentioned here that the abductors have sought for a ransom of rupees 2 crore for releasing the hostages. The two victims have been identified as Kamwan Pao, who is the founder of the Zomi Finns music band, and also the chief of MT Giltam village. And on the other hand, the other victim has been identified as Gokhantang from Khajang in Churachandpur. The duo was kidnapped on Saturday night by the unidentified insurgent group. All right, it's time for a short break now. More news and updates to follow on at the other side. Stay tuned. Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.
আগুৱাইছে মোৰ দেশ এক সুন্দৰ ভৱিষ্যতৰ দিশে আঁকোৱালি লৈ ইয়াৰ বিকাশৰ ধাৰাত
एक एक भारतीय अपने कर्तव्य को सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता देगा, पूरी निष्ठा से उसका पालन करेगा, तो भारत को आगे बढ़ने से कोई रोक नहीं पाएगा।
তেন্তে আপুনিও ৰাষ্ট্ৰীয় নিৰ্মাণৰ বাবে নিজৰ কৰ্তব্য নিষ্ঠাৰ চিন স্বৰূপে নিজৰ এডভান্স টেক্স সময়মতে জমা দিয়ক 2022-23 বিত্তীয় বৰ্ষৰ বাবে এডভান্স টেক্সৰ প্ৰথম কিস্তি 15 জুন 2022ৰ ভিতৰত নিশ্চয় জমা কৰিব কোম্পানীজ কৰ্পোৰেটছ স্যালাৰিড এমপ্লয়িজ অথবা এনে ব্যক্তি অথবা সংস্থা যাৰ টিডিএছ বা টিসিএছ কটাৰ পাছতো দেয় কৰ 10,000 অথবা তাতকৈ অধিক হয় তেওঁলোকৰ বাবে এডভান্স টেক্স দিয়াটো অনিবাৰ্য প্ৰত্যেক আয়কৰ দাতা এগৰাকী ৰাষ্ট্ৰ নিৰ্মাতা
Oh. Bah.
অভূতপূর্ব ভ্যারাইটি অপূর্ব মূল্য ডাউনলোড মিশো
Northeast Live, most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage. Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage. Evening Prime, the primetime news at 7. Now, in a whole new look. Only on Northeast Live. Welcome back, viewers, and on to the big national focus now. It has been a day of intense drama with Congress leader Rahul Gandhi grilled for close to 10 hours so far by the Enforcement Directorate. Rahul Gandhi, who reached the ED office around noon, was grilled for nearly 3 hours in the first session. And during the lunch break, Rahul Gandhi called on an ailing Sonia Gandhi at the Ganga Ram Hospital, following which the quizzing began again. As per inputs, Rahul Gandhi is still at the ED office and is expected to leave shortly. Rahul Gandhi, who marched to the ED office earlier in the day, accompanied by hundreds of Congress leaders, including sister Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, Randeep Surjewala, Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot, Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel, amongst others, was by a three-member team of ED interrogated. The Enforcement Directorate's grilling of the former Congress president took place amidst the satyagraha launched by party workers and leaders in protest against the ED summon in the National Herald case. Meanwhile, Congress leaders have accused the BJP of being vindictive and misusing the ED. Listening.
अखबार के कर्मचारियों की तनख्वाह देना, अगर एक अखबार के पत्रकारों की तनख्वाह देना अपराध है तो हम ये अपराध बार बार करेंगे। अगर बिजली का बिल देना अपराध है अखबार का, अगर अखबार का हाउस टैक्स देना अपराध है तो ये अपराध बार बार करेंगे। मोदी सरकार, कायर मोदी सरकार हमें गिरफ्तार करे, हमें आजीवन कारावास दे, पर अंग्रेज भी हारा था, मोदी भी हारेगा।
So there you have it, viewers. A day of intense drama for Congress leader Rahul Gandhi as he was grilled for close to 10 hours so far by the Enforcement Directorate. Rahul Gandhi, who reached the ED office around noon today, was grilled for nearly 3 hours in the first session. And then during the lunch break, Rahul called on an ailing Sonia Gandhi at the Ganga Ram Hospital, following which the quizzing began again. As per inputs, Rahul Gandhi is still at the ED office and is expected to leave shortly. Rahul Gandhi, who marched to the ED office earlier in the day, accompanied by hundreds of Congress leaders, including sister Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, Randeep Surjewala, Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot, Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel, amongst others, was grilled by a three-member team of the Enforcement Directorate. The ED's grilling of the former Congress president took place amidst the satyagraha launched by party workers and leaders in protest against the ED summon in the National Herald case. Meanwhile, Congress leaders have accused the BJP of being vindictive and misusing the ED. And meanwhile, the Congress's nationwide satyagraha launched against the ED summon of Rahul Gandhi has drawn sharp condemnation from the BJP. Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma slammed the Congress for its so-called satyagraha against the Enforcement Directorate's summon. The Assam Chief Minister said that the protests are a part of the Congress tactics to intimidate the ED. Sharma also added here that agencies cannot be intimidated.
अगर कोई व्यक्ति को खास करके अगर वो प्रधानमंत्री हो, मुख्यमंत्री हो या सांसद हो या पॉलिटिकली रेस्पॉन्सिबल व्यक्ति हो, सब लोगों का ये दायित्व बनता है कि देश का कानून को कैसे हम रेस्पेक्ट करता हूं और कैसे कानून को हम लोग रीएस्टैब्लिश और हम कानून को शक्ति देता हूं। आज राहुल गांधी ये देश का एक सांसद है। जब ईडी ने उनको बुलाया तो ईडी का सामने उनको जाना चाहिए चुपचाप, और जो भी अपना पक्ष है ये पक्ष को सामने ईडी का अधिकारियों का सामने रखना चाहिए, और फिर लॉ जो करेगा, लॉ विल टेक इट्स ओन कोर्स। और भारत का लॉ इतना स्ट्रांग है कि अगर आप इनोसेंट है आपका कभी भी पनिशमेंट नहीं होगा। लेकिन जब आप एक सांसद हो, ईडी ने आपको बुलाया है, आप एकदम नामांकन फिलअप करने का समय जैसे आप लोगों को, समर्थकों को लेके जाते हैं, अगर ऐसे आप ईडी ऑफिस में जाते हैं, साथ में आप कोई राज्य का मुख्यमंत्री को लेके जाते हैं, सांसद को लेके जाते हैं, मतलब क्या है? आप ईडी को डरवाना चाहते हैं कि ईडी आपका पॉपुलैरिटी से, सो कॉल्ड पॉपुलैरिटी से डर जाए और ईडी आपका खिलाफ कार्यवाही ना करे। तो ये आज राहुल गांधी ने जो तमाशा दिखाया, उसी में उन्होंने प्रूफ कर दिया कि मैंने कुछ गलती किया हूं। अगर वो गलती नहीं किया था तो चुपचाप जाता था, आराम से जाता था और बाहर आके मीडिया को इंटरव्यू दे देता था, भाई हमको ये पूछताछ किया, हमने ये आंसर दिया। लेकिन आप देश भर में प्रोसेशन निकालिए, ईडी का सामने एकदम फौज लेके जाइए। अरे भाई, भारत बदल चुका है, अभी आपसे कोई नहीं डरने वाला है।
अरेस्ट हो सकता है क्या?
देखिए, मैं इतना जानता हूं कि अभी ईडी राहुल गांधी से नहीं डरेगा और ना हमसे भी डरना चाहिए, किसी से डरना नहीं चाहिए। भारत बदल चुका है। अगर आपको कोई एजेंसी बुलाया है, आप एकदम लाइक ए लॉ अबाइडिंग सिटीजन आप जाइए। ऐसे प्रोसेशन करने का मतलब है जरूर दाल में कुछ काला है, नहीं तो आप क्यों ऐसा करेगा। तो इसीलिए आज राहुल गांधी और कांग्रेस पार्टी ने जो तमाशा किया, इसको मैंने कंडेम ही नहीं करता हूं, साथ में मैं यही भी बोलना चाहता हूं, देखिए अभी आप लोगों को कोई नहीं डरेगा। एनफोर्समेंट एजेंसी अपना काम करेगा और अगर आप गुनाहगार है तो आपका पनिशमेंट होगा। हाँ, अगर आप इनोसेंट है, आपका कुछ नहीं होगा। ये आज नया भारत का यही नया रूल है।
All right, moving on now. A viral video of an endangered great Indian hornbill being tortured and killed in Nagaland has sparked public outrage, prompting authorities to swing into action. Sheer inhumanity was on display as the bird was hit with a wooden stick and then strangulated to death by stamping on its neck. The incident took place at a Bhandari subdivision under Wokha district of Nagaland. As viewers, a shocking development being reported as a viral video of an endangered great Indian hornbill being tortured and killed in Nagaland has now sparked public outrage, prompting the authorities to swing into action. Sheer inhumanity was on display as the bird was hit with a wooden stick and then strangulated to death by stamping on its neck. The incident took place at the Bhandari subdivision under Wokha district of Nagaland. And meanwhile, the Nagaland Wildlife Department has taken strong exception of the inhumane act, following which police have now arrested all those involved in the incident. Speaking to Northeast Live, a wildlife warden Dimapur Tokaho Kinimi informed that the three main accused persons have been identified, booked, and has been brought to Wokha. He also informed that the department will be taking up the case legally, and the department has also recovered the weapon and the remaining body parts of the great Indian hornbill. On to another big story now, viewers. Beijing has started a new round of mass testing in its most populous downtown district today after a rapidly spreading outbreak linked to a bar saw COVID rules tightened once again in the capital. China still committed to a zero COVID strategy, stamping out new cases with a combination of targeted lockdowns, mass testing, and lengthy quarantines. But that strategy is being stretched to its very limit by the fast-spreading Omicron variant, as both Beijing and Shanghai have seen fresh clusters just days after lifting COVID restrictions such as lockdowns, restaurant and office closures, amongst others. The outbreak stemming from the Heaven supermarket bar has infected at least 183 people in 15 districts so far. Meanwhile, Chaoyang district, which is home to high-end shops, multinational firms and embassies, started a 3-day testing drive for all of its 3.5 million residents and sealed off several downtown residential compounds and malls over the weekend. And with a rising of the new cases linked to the bar cluster, all sporting events now also stand cancelled, and a plan for most children to return to school today has also been scrapped. On to some more international news now. A huge fire ripped through a packaging plant owned by Smurfit Kappa in Birmingham, destroying a large amount of paper and cardboard bales overnight. West Midlands Fire Service said that more than 110 firefighters and 30 appliances were on site at the height of the blaze, which was declared a major incident of late last night. However, there have been no reports of any casualties or a possible cause yet. As you can see on your screens, viewers, these are dramatic drone footage shared by the Fire Service Department showing flames raging and smoke filling the air as firefighters battled the blazing inferno. Moving on now, Iran's currency dropped to its lowest value ever as talks to revive the country's tattered nuclear deal with world powers remains deadlocked. Iran's currency was trading at 32,000 rials to the dollar at the time of Tehran's 2015 nuclear deal with world powers. The rial's new low came as the United States sanctions against the country are still in force. Iran's economy is struggling mightily, mostly because of the United Nations pullout from the 2015 nuclear deal between Iran and the world powers that restored sanctions on Iran's oil and banking sectors. Meanwhile, police arrested 31 currency and gold traders accused of creating false demand in the market, State TV reported, without elaborating further. And well, heavy rains are expected to continue across China this week, with some southern provinces issuing alerts and evacuating residents ahead of a possible flooding. As per reports from the National Meteorological Center from Monday, most parts of China will experience heavy downpour, and parts of the eastern and southern provinces of Jiangxi, Zhejiang, and Guangdong and the Guangxi-Zhuang Autonomous Region are likely to be hit by storms or hailstorms. The China Meteorological Administration issued a level 4 emergency response nationwide, as it is expected to fall in areas that have already suffered from downpours over the past several weeks. Guangxi, which has experienced more rainfall than any other parts of China, is seeing floods in its low-lying areas. And from May to the early part of June, the amount of rainfall in the region was the highest in 43 years over that period, Liu Gozong, a chief forecaster from the region's meteorological service, said. And meanwhile, People's Armed Police Troopers have been deployed in the affected areas with the rescue equipments to evacuate the affected people. And also, the extreme weather destroyed houses and farmland, resulting in economic losses to the tune of $400 million. And on to some other news now. Taking the internet by storm, YouTube India shared the platform's first ever video on its Instagram handle, making netizens both nostalgic and amazed at the same time. The first video uploaded on the platform was Me at the Zoo, which was uploaded by YouTube co-founder Javed Karim on YouTube on April 23rd, 2020. Since then, it has garnered more than 12 million likes and 230 million views on the platform. Interestingly, the first ever video was filmed at the San Diego Zoo, which thanked the platform for keeping the video alive. Let's have a look.
Alright, so here we are in front of the elephants. Cool thing about these guys is that they have really long fronts, and that's cool. And that's pretty much all there is to say. Alright, so here we are in front of the elephants. Cool thing about these guys is that they have really long fronts, and that's cool. And that's pretty much all there is to say. Alright, so here we are in front of the elephants. And cool thing about these guys is that they have really, really long fronts, and that's cool. And that's pretty much all there is to say. Alright, so here we are in front of the elephants. And cool thing about these guys is that they have really, really long fronts, and that's cool. And that's pretty much all there is to say. Alright, so here we are in front of the elephants. And cool thing about these guys is that they have really, really long fronts, and that's cool. And that's pretty much all there is to say.
Currently owned by Google, YouTube has more than 2.6 billion monthly users. The platform also generated more than $8.6 billion as a revenue in 2021, with people spending more than 18 minutes at an average on the platform. In fact, it is the second most visited website after Google search. Headquartered in San Bruno, California, YouTube was launched back on the 14th of February 2005 by Steve Chen, Shad Hurley, and Javed Karim. On to some sports news now, viewers. The media rights for the lucrative Indian Premier League or IPL for the next 5-year cycle from 2023 to 2027 was hotly contested amongst the country's top broadcasters. After intense bidding, the TV and digital rights have been won separately by two broadcasters, sources have confirmed. According to sources, the prices for Package A, which is TV rights, and Package B, digital rights, have been pegged at a humongous amount of rupees 44,075 crore. This puts the evaluation of each IPL match at a cost of above rupees 100 crore, something that is unheard of in Indian sports. According to sources, the current price for each IPL match stands at rupees 107.5 crore. Sources have confirmed that the deal is for a total of 410 matches over a 5-year period. The TV rights were sold for rupees 23,575 crore, while the digital rights have gone for a whopping rupees 20,500 crore. Star India had edged out Sony Pictures to secure the Indian Premier League's media rights for the 2017-2022 cycle with a bid of rupees 16,347.50 crore back in September 2017. With this deal, the cost of an IPL match had become around rupees 55 crore. Then, in 2008, Sony Pictures Network won the IPL media rights for a period of 10 years with a bid of rupees 8,200 crore. The global digital rights of IPL for a period of 3 years were awarded to Novi Digital in 2015 for a sum of rupees 302.2 crore. And after an exciting T20I series, Sri Lanka will lock horns with the Australian team in the first fixture of the 5-match bilateral ODI series at Pallekele International Stadium from tomorrow. The Australian team lost their last ODI series to Pakistan earlier in the year. However, they would look to take this opportunity to improve their performances in the 50-over format and rankings in the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup Super League as well. The players like Marcus Labuschagne and Josh Hazlewood would look to be the key contributors. On the other hand, Sri Lanka won their last ODI series against Zimbabwe and is now at a fine momentum with the victory in the last T20I fixture against Australia. The key players to look out for would be Charit Asalanka and Wanindu Hasaranga. The pitch at Pallekele Stadium has been a belter of a surface, and the team chasing down the score will have an advantage. The spinners are expected to find purchase and will be the wicket-taking option. A total of 275 plus needs to be posted by the team batting first to be at an advantage at this venue. And meanwhile, Australia will miss the services of senior pacer Mitchell Starc, who will not be available due to a finger injury. However, the likes of Travis Head, Marcus Labuschagne, and Pat Cummins will join the squad, adding a good balance to the side. And they will hope to rub off their third T20I defeat against Sri Lanka and start the ODI series on a positive note. Moving on now, in a tectonic shift in the ATP World Rankings, Daniil Medvedev has become the world's #1 men's tennis player and replaced 20-time Grand Slam champion Novak Djokovic in the top spot. Yes, viewers, Medvedev regained the #1 ranking after finishing runners-up at the recently concluded Libema Open, where he lost to Netherlands' Tim van Rijthoven in the finals. Djokovic's defeat in the French Open quarterfinal to eventual champion Rafael Nadal proved costly for him as he lost a massive 2,000 points. The Serbian star was the defending champion in the tournament, having lifted the trophy for the second time in his career in 2021. Djokovic has slipped to the third place in the world rankings. And this is for the first time since the year 2003 that neither of the famed Big Three, which include Novak Djokovic, Roger Federer, and Rafael Nadal, are part of the top 2 in the world rankings. German tennis star Alexander Zverev is the new #1 following his heroic effort in the French Open, where a nasty injury ended his campaign early on in the semi-final against Nadal. The world #2 rank is a career best one for Zverev. It's time for another short break now. More news and updates to follow on the other side. Stay tuned. Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.
Introducing the new Suzuki Avenus, the sportiest, zippiest ride in town that's loaded with next generation GPS navigation.
নতুন মিউজিক ডাইরেক্টর রোহানে এতিয়ালৈকে মিউজিক পঠোৱা নাই।
I've got it. The new Suzuki Avenus. More zip, more trick.
आओ यहाँ बार-बार खेलो झूमो कूदो यहाँ मस्ती में, बड़े छोटे साथ आओ ऐश करो नाचो गाओ मस्ती में, आओ यहाँ बार-बार खेलो झूमो कूदो यहाँ मस्ती में।
সুগন্ধ ৰং আৰু সোৱাদ খাতি
এভৰিডে জিভাত দিয়ে আসল জুতি।
এভৰিডে স্পাইচেছ 100% টেষ্ট। এভৰিডে স্পাইচেছ বেষ্ট।
হিমালয় পিউৰিফাইং নিম ফেচ ৱাছ এও এক্সপাৰ্ট কেনেকৈ?
এইটো ক্লিনিক্যালি প্ৰুভেন হয় যে ইয়াৰ আছে নিম আৰু হালধিৰ এন্টিব্যাকটেৰিয়েল গুণ যি পিম্পল আঁতৰ কৰে আৰু স্কিন কৰি তোলে একেবাৰে হেলদি।
ৱাহ!
হিমালয় পিউৰিফাইং নিম ফেচ ৱাছ, পিম্পল ফ্ৰী হেলদি স্কিনৰ এক্সপাৰ্ট।
মই ব্যৱহাৰ কৰো আটাইতকৈ সবল আৰু সতেজ চিমেণ্ট, সূৰ্য চিমেণ্ট। সূৰ্য চিমেণ্ট, অটুট ঘৰ, অটুট অসম।
Welcome back, big viewers, and on to another big story now. A day after securing a historic win in the Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council polls, BJP leader and incumbent CEM Tuliram Ronghan is now a man focused on delivering on the poll promises. Speaking exclusively to Northeast Live Chief of Bureau Arindam Das in Difu, Ronghan said that all-round development with focus on road connectivity and education will be the top priority of the new council. And on being asked as to who will be the next CEM and the date and schedule of the swearing in and the Vijay Divas, Ronghan said that the party high command will take that decision.
We have with us the incumbent CEM of Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council, Mr. Tuliram Ronghan. Tuliram ji, আপোনালোকৰ গ্ৰ্যান্ড ভিক্টৰি হৈছে 26টা জিকিছে, তো আপুনি কাক এট্ৰিবিউট কৰিব আৰু কিহক এট্ৰিবিউট কৰিব এই ভিক্টৰিৰ কাৰণে?
Thank you, Northeast Live, for giving this opportunity. On behalf of Team Karbi Anglong, thanks to people of Karbi Anglong. আমি তেখেত কাৰ্বি আংলং ৰাইজক মই ধন্যবাদ দিছোঁ তেখেতসকলক আমাক যিটো আশীৰ্বাদ আৰু ব্লেছিং দিয়াৰ কাৰণে।
তো আপোনালোকৰ এতিয়া মেইন ফ'কাছ কি হ'ব?
মেইন ফ'কাছ we will do it all round development in Karbi Anglong, especially roads, connectivities, and educations, and all round development we will do it, and we will discuss and my colleagues.
দেখা গৈছে যে বিজেপি বহুত এগ্ৰেছিভলি কেম্পেইনিং কৰিছিল, চিফ মিনিষ্টাৰ নিজে স্পেয়াৰ হেড কৰিছিল কেম্পেইনিং, তেওঁ 19খন ৰেলী এটেণ্ড কৰিছে 4 দিনৰ ভিতৰত। তো বিজেপি বহুত প্ৰেষ্টিজ ফাইট হিচাপে লৈছিল নেকি এইখন?
ইমান হোৱা নাই, একো হোৱা নাই এতিয়ালৈকে, একো ফাইট মই দেখাই নাই যে চবে মানে ৰাইজে ভোট দিবলৈ আহিছে, চবে আহিছে, ওলাই আহিছে, চবে মানে বিজেপি ভোট দিবলৈ চবে সাজু হৈ আছে, সিদ্ধান্ত লোৱা হৈ গ'লে পাব্লিকে আৰু দি এতিয়া সিদ্ধান্ত লোৱা হৈ গ'লে।
আচ্ছা, ওথ টেকিং কেতিয়া হ'ব আৰু ইএম চিলেকশ্যন কেতিয়া হ'ব?
এইবিলাকতো মই নাজানো, এইটোতো হাইকমাণ্ড যি হ'ব এইটোতো হাইকমাণ্ড ডিচিশ্যন হ'ব, কাৰণ হাইকমাণ্ড ডিচিশ্যন ইজ দ্য ফাইনেল ডিচিশ্যন, মোৰ ফালৰ পৰা একো ডিচিশ্যন দিব নোৱাৰে।
বিজেপি ষ্টেট এক্সিকিউটিভ হ'ব গৈ আছে কাইলৈৰ পৰা দুদিনীয়া, তো কি কি এজেণ্ডা থাকিব, কোন কোন আহিব এই ষ্টেট এক্সিকিউটিভত?
যিমানখিনি ষ্টেট বিজেপি মেম্বাৰ্ছ আছে তেখেতসকলৰ আহিব, চিফ মিনিষ্টাৰৰ পৰা MP MLA সকলো আহিব ইয়াত, আৰু যিমান মেম্বাৰ্ছ আছে তেওঁলোকৰ আহিব।
চিফ মিনিষ্টাৰ কেতিয়া আহিব? তেওঁ থাকাকে আহিবনে?
কালি আহিব বুলি আমি মেছেজ পাইছোঁ, কেতিয়া আহিব এতিয়ালৈকে ফাইনেল হোৱা নাই, পিছত আপোনালোকে গম পাই যাব।
আচ্ছা, লাষ্টলি আপোনালোকে বিজয় দিৱসটো কেতিয়া পালন কৰিব, কিমান মানুহ সমাগম হ'ব?
এতিয়ালৈকে আলোচনা কৰা নাই, আমি এতিয়া পিছত আপোনালোকক মই জনাই দিম।
Thank you very much. That was the incumbent CEO of Karbi Autonomous Council, Tuliram Ronghang, speaking exclusively to Northeast Live. Reporting from Difu, this is Arindam Das for Northeast Live.
And shifting focus now. If you are putting off your bank-related work for the last week of June, think twice. Because at least 9 bank unions of India have... All right, coming back to the region now, producers of Nepali film Kabaddi 4, Sushma Gurung and Anmol Gurung, have issued an apology to the Buddhist communities in Sikkim over the recent controversy where a Buddhist monk was slapped in Kathmandu. Well, the controversy began after lead actress of the movie, Meruna Mangar, slapped the monk at the movie premiere. Since then, Buddhist communities from Nepal, Sikkim, and even Darjeeling have opposed the film, calling for a ban on its release in Nepal as well as in Sikkim. The producers, in their apology, affirmed on a justice for monk Phurba Lama, and at the same time also insisted for the smooth premiere of the film in Sikkim on the 17th of June. Listen in.
सबसे पहले तो हम शुरुआत करना चाहते हैं एक माफ़ी से, सॉरी, बहुत ही श्रद्धा और दिल से हम लोग सॉरी कह रहे हैं आप लोग को, स्पेशली किसको, जो व्यक्ति बौद्ध धर्म को मानते हैं, जो व्यक्ति बौद्ध फिलॉसफी को मानते हैं, और जो बुद्धिस्ट है और जो लामा लोग हैं, लामा गुरुजी है, उन सबको हम तहे दिल से माफ़ी मांगते हैं, क्योंकि मीरूना मगर जी और फुरबा लामा जी के बीच में जो एक घटना हुआ था नेपाल में कुछ हफ्ते पहले, उसकी वजह से और कुछ कमेंट्स इधर उधर होने की वजह से जो आप लोग को सेंटिमेंट्स में हर्ट हुआ है, उसके लिए हम लोग तहे दिल से माफ़ी मांगते हैं। विद अ सेंस ऑफ ग्रैटिट्यूड एंड विद अ सेंस ऑफ अपॉलॉजी हम लोग ये भी कह रहे हैं कि जो भी एक नैरेटिव बिल्ड हुआ है यहाँ पे, नैरेटिव ये है कि बॉयकॉट कबड्डी 4 बोल रहे हैं, लेकिन नैरेटिव होना चाहिए था जस्टिस फॉर फुरबा लामा। ये जस्टिस फॉर फुरबा लामा के साथ हम लोग भी खड़े हैं, हम लोग भी चाहते हैं कि फुरबा लामा जी को जस्टिस हो, हम लोग चाहते हैं कि मीरूना मंगर को जस्टिस हो, और हम लोग सभी लामा लोग से भी यही निवेदन कर रहे हैं, देखिए सर जी, गुरु जी, आपको ऊपर आपका सेंटिमेंट पर हर्ट हुआ है, और इसीलिए हम लोग ने यहाँ खदा में भी लाके हम लोग ने आपके पब्लिकली आपको मैंने सॉरी बोला है, और हम चाहते हैं कि आप हमको हम सबको फॉरगिव करें और इस पीसफुल स्क्रीनिंग होने दें, और ये भी चाहते हैं कि अगर आपको किसी भी एंगल से ये लगता है कि ये फिल्म बौद्ध धर्म के अगेंस्ट है, तो हम प्रोड्यूसर्स बोल रहे हैं कि आप फिल्म को देखना चाहते हैं तो हम आपके लिए गैंगटॉक में एक स्पेशल स्क्रीनिंग रखना चाहते हैं, हम आपको दिखाएंगे फिल्म, देखिए आप। अगर आपको लगता है कि वहाँ पे कुछ बौद्ध धर्म के खिलाफ है तो आप हमको बोल सकते हैं।
And on to Mizoram now. The African swine fever menace is still lingering in the hill state, leading to fresh pig deaths. Close to 40 pig deaths were reported yesterday, while another dozen pigs were culled by officials to prevent further spread of the disease. Close to 5,000 pigs have died since March in Mizoram due to the African swine fever. Currently, 68 villages spread across 9 districts of the state are affected by the African swine fever disease. And what is even more concerning is the fact that 641 pigs have died due to suspected ASF infections in as many as 36 villages, which are yet to be declared as ASF-infested areas. That's right, viewers. The ASF outbreak, which began on March 21st, 2021, was declared as contained by early this year before killing at least 33,417, estimated to cost a sum of rupees 60.82 crore. And on to some other news now. Buddhist devotees and people in the Mongolian capital gave a rousing welcome to the Indian delegation led by Union Law and Justice Minister Kiren Rijiju as they arrived in the country with the holy relics of Lord Buddha today. The 4 holy relics, known as the Kapilavastu relics, brought in 2 special bulletproof caskets on board an Indian Air Force aircraft. The holy relics will be displayed at the Batsagan temple in Gandan Tekchenling Monastery complex in Ulaanbaatar for a period of 11 days. They were under the care of the National Museum in Delhi, and during the 11-day visit to Mongolia, the relics will be accorded the status of state guest. The holy relics of Lord Buddha, which are returning to Mongolia after a period of 29 years, are considered one of the most sacred relics of Buddhism. In the year 2015, the holy relics were placed under the AA category of antiquities and art treasures, which should not ordinarily be taken out of the country for exhibition, considering their delicate nature. However, upon the request of the Mongolian government, the government of India has made a special exception and permitted the exposition of the holy relics in Mongolia. The display of sacred Kapilavastu relics at the Gandan Tekchenling Monastery is called a historic milestone in India-Mongolia relations and will further boost cultural and spiritual relations between the two countries.
हमारे साथ में बुद्ध के अवशेषों का साथ में यहाँ आना हुआ, तो उसकी वजह से जो यहाँ के लोगों के मन में भारत के प्रति जो आस्था है, जो इज्जत है, वो एक अलग स्तर पर है। बुद्ध का अवशेषों का यहाँ लाना बुद्ध पूर्णिमा के दिन पर और 11 दिन यहाँ रखेंगे, उसमें यहाँ सभी श्रद्धालुओं को यहाँ आके इसका दर्शन करने का मौका मिलेगा। इस दृष्टि से भी बहुत खास है।
And with that, we've come to the end of our news bulletin. Stay tuned to Northeast Live for more news and updates. Thank you and good night. Northeast Live, the most viewed news channel in the region. On YouTube, unmatched coverage.
Introducing the new Suzuki